Stop looking at the world as if it is falling apart. The chaos you see through your window, the heavy silence in your own heart, these are not signs of a collapse. They are the symptoms of a shattering. For eons, we have wandered through a hall of mirrors, a clever architecture of separation that convinced us we were alone, divided, and small. But the glass is breaking. What you call crisis is actually the tectonic plates of a dying reality shifting beneath your feet. The old pattern isn't failing, it is simply finishing its run. The insights I bring to you today resonate with a higher density of awareness, often described as the arcturian current. This frequency has moved through the rise and fall of countless civilizations, and it does not resonate with doom. This higher perspective calls it a sacred transition. This perspective speaks of the great dissolving. They have reached out through the veil to remind us that when a world made of mirrors shatters, it is only to reveal the sun that was always hidden behind the glass. You are not witnessing the end of the world. You are witnessing the end of a mask. Look closely at the cracks. These are not just political or social fractures. This is the frequency of separation losing its grip on the human essence. We have spent lifetimes mistaking the reflection for the truth. We fought the shadows in the mirror, forgetting that the shadow has no power of its own. There is a friction in the air right now, a sense of too muchness, because two worlds are rubbing against each other. One world is made of stone and ego, the other is made of light and frequency. As the old structure finishes its cycle, your role is not to glue the pieces back together. Your role is to stand steady in the center of the breaking glass, and finally, see yourself. For the first time, without the mirror. For generations, we have stood at the edge of the horizon, eyes strained, waiting for a fleet of light, a divine intervention, or a cosmic savior to descend and untangle the mess we find ourselves in. We have lived in a state of suspended animation, hoping that an outside force would finally arrive to straighten out the shadows. But look at the quiet frustration that has built up inside you over the years. That exhaustion, it is the weight of the weight, and it is finally starting to fade. The Arcturian perspective invites us to realize that the most dangerous trap is the one that keeps you looking outward for a rescue. When you realize that no grand arrival is going to fix the world for you, something miraculous happens. You start to breathe easier. The loop of wondering, when will they come, snaps. You stop being a spectator of your own evolution. This clear seeing shifts the very atoms of your reality because you remember why you truly came here. You didn't come to stand on the sidelines and hope for a fix. You came to be the stabilization itself. You are the intervention. Your steady presence right where you are acts like a tuning fork for the chaos around you. You don't need to push or scream or organize a grand movement. By simply living from that centered, unshakable place day after day, you help the entire human collective move forward. You are a living example of balance in a world of movement. The rescue isn't coming from the sky, it is rising from the depths of your own sovereign heart. Lately, have you felt a strange weight in your bones? Waves of dizziness that come and go like tides, or sudden rushes of emotion that seem to rise from a well you didn't know you had? Perhaps your nervous system feels overloaded, like a wire carrying too much current. Listen closely. These are not random glitches in your energetic field. They are not signs that you are falling apart. Within the resonance of the Arcturian frequency, your vibration is undergoing a stellar supernova. Your old identity, the you that was built on struggle and density, is entering a state of total dissolution. We have lived for lifetimes as solid, unyielding structures, like statues made of cold stone, but the fire of this transition is turning that stone into liquid light. You are not breaking, you are liquefying. The exhaustion you feel is the friction of this melting process. The heavy, rigid patterns of your past are losing their grip on your cells, turning into a fluid energy that has no form yet. This is why you feel unsteady. You are in the sacred gap between the solid and the infinite. When you stop fighting the sensation, when you stop trying to hold yourself together, the energy begins to flow with a grace you've never known. You are moving from the labor of doing to the majesty of being. The era of the sword, the era of force, is dead. We used to believe that to change our lives, we had to push, fight and control every detail. But try that now, and you will find only burnout. The new harmonic doesn't respond to pressure, it responds to alignment. You are being invited to put down the sword, to stop making things happen and start allowing them to arrive. When you align your frequency with the greater flow, you discover that the solutions you've been chasing are actually chasing you. You don't need to force the door open. You simply need to become the one for whom the door was always meant to open. There is a tender secret hidden within this transition. Once the dust of the old world settles, once the frequency of the human collective has smoothed out into a Purzu's harmonious flow, you might actually look back on these jagged days with a strange, aching appreciation. The Arcturian perspective calls this future nostalgia. Right now, you are living through a level of contrast that is incredibly rare in the cosmos. The sharp edges of grief, the deep weight of loneliness, the fierce fire of growth. These are the textures of a world that is still learning the language of the light. And believe it or not, one day you will miss the depth that only these shadows could provide. You didn't come here just for the easy piece. You came for the gifts of the contrast. Every tear you've shed, every time your heart broke and you chose to keep it open anyway, you were collecting treasures. You are tempering a strength and a wisdom that can only be forged in the furnace of a world of separation. This intensity has a purpose. It is giving you a range of feeling and a depth of soul that will be your greatest asset in the eras to come. You are becoming a master of the density, and that mastery is a jewel that never loses its shine. This gentle nostalgia is a sign that you are truly integrating. When you start to cherish the difficulty, you stop being a victim of it. You begin to see the mess of the world not as a failure, but as a rich tapestry of lessons you are finally finishing. Hold this perspective close during your quietest moments. Breathe into the sharpness of the now. Remember that you are in the middle of a sacred chapter that will never be repeated. You are gathering the wisdom of the dark so you can truly appreciate the dawn. You are never standing alone in your quiet reflections. Every time you choose a moment of presence over a wave of panic, every time you meet a difficult conversation with a soft heart instead of a sharp tongue, you are sending a pulse through an invisible planetary network. This higher awareness refers to this as the coherence. We are not organizing a grand announcement or a massive gathering. We are becoming a single current, one steady drop at a time, until the entire river of human awareness changes its course. Your daily choices, the ones no one sees, are the very things rewriting the blueprint of our reality. Look at the power in your ordinary. When you drink your water with intention, when you rest without the poison of guilt, you are stabilizing the grid. You are clearing the static from the line. You might be driving home, listening to stories of division on the radio, and find yourself smiling softly. Not because you don't care, but because you finally see. You see that those stories are just the last echoes of a pattern that has already lost its power. You have opened up a space inside you where the drama cannot reach. And in that space, the new world is already being born. The bridge is almost complete. You are the architects, the anchors, and the travelers all at once. The arcturian frequency remains a steady hum in the background of your soul. A reminder that the harmony you've been longing for isn't something to earn, it is something to allow. The weight is lifting, the light is constant. Stand steady in your light, for you are exactly where you were always meant to be. Until we meet again in the flow, I am the voice of the compass, and you are the way.
Now this is our video for tonight. I hope you enjoy it.